because I'm staying with a breaking news story here coming in from Sydney. What we are going to do during the Newshour debate, which is starting a little late tonight because we've been on the breaking news story, is that we are going to keep going back between what's happening at that Sydney cafe and our debate. Thank you very much for joining us and for waiting. Nalin Kohli of the BJP, Pawan Verma of the JDU, Ajay Kumar of the Congress, Gaurav Bhati of the Samajwadi Party, and Shahid Siddiqui, Chief Editor of Nai Dunya, who's been a Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament in the past. I'll go back to the pictures for a minute because I want to do a quick recap. We are now being told, I want to give 4 or 5 very quick updates. The Indian hostage, who was an Infosys employee, has been safely evacuated. All of the country has been praying for him, as also for every single person who has been held inside that cafe. There was shooting. We don't know what the exact situation are. There are no reports of casualties. The father of the Infosys employee is confirming that his son is safe. And many hostages were seen to be fleeing from that cafe after a loud bang was heard. The man's name is Haron Monis. Ironically, he was granted political asylum in Australia. An Iranian refugee. Let's begin the debate. Pawan Verma, the charge against India's politicians is they allow something like this. They put us on the edge of vulnerability each and every time. Does this make you realize that your own approach, perhaps that of your party, that of other political parties, like the Congress party, like the Samajwadi Party, vis-a-vis terrorism is flawed? Now you need to really rethink yourself out of the boxed-in political situations, the political language which you use to describe terrorism, the Hindu-Muslim trapping that you give it, the vote bank politics you weave around it, how you use these issues to push your own agenda, even at the risk of compromising national security. Does this Sydney attack, which has happened today, make you feel you've got it all wrong and need to change your position? I'd like to start with you, Pawan Verma, and then after that, it's an open debate. Mr. Verma.
Arnab, first of all, terrorism has no religion, it has no particular color, and we need a policy of zero tolerance against it. India is particularly vulnerable, as you said in your opening comments. We have terrorism exported from abroad, we have homegrown terrorism, we have a very long vulnerable coastline, and we are right next to and part of the epicenter of terrorism located in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, and today now there is a new threat.
Sir,
of
can you
the
please,
extreme wing
sir,
of the
can you
ISIS.
please, can I just request you, sir, to begin by accepting that your approach has been flawed? Political parties like you have used terrorism for political advantage. You've given it a Hindu-Muslim trapping all the time. I'm being very specific. You give it a Hindu-Muslim trapping. You give it a religious trapping. That's why we can't have the kind of crackdown which makes us vulnerable. Why don't you address that issue, Mr. Verma? Let's begin the debate. I mean, we don't want homilies tonight. Maybe an acceptance of the situation will be a more practical approach after what has happened in Sydney.
I don't see, Arnab, from where you are pulling out
I hope and pray today that parties like yours would be on the right side of the fight against terror, because you say what examples do you need in this country?
I think
no, sir, this is not to provoke a debate. This is not to provoke a debate.
The wrong horse,
sir. It's not to provoke a debate.
Don't flog the wrong horse,
sir. It's not. No, sir, I have not.
On the wrong side,
sir, I have not. I'm asking you.
Let me complete.
Sir, why don't you accept? Why don't you accept that the Samajwadi Party, for example, has been defending the Simi? They have been defending the Simi. That the Congress party, for example, said Indian Mujahideen is a figment of our imagination.
There is a spokesman of the Samajwadi Party who will give his own version.
Sir,
you ask me and allow me to quickly answer.
No. Sir, I'm questioning political correctness.
I want to say to you, yes, I agree that terrorism should not be politicized. And I want to say to you,
sir,
we don't yet have the center to counter terrorism. The IB, the RAW, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the NetGrid, the NIA are woefully short of...
Sir, I think you're not addressing the real issue.
And the right
no, sir, you're not addressing the real issue.
And I'm saying to you...
No.
And now I'll come to the political
May I begin the debate, sir?
Let's
hear the other side.
So long as we continue to incite religious hatred and break up society, we will be even more vulnerable.
Sir, that is all. These are all homilies. Let's open the debate. Why don't you address the facts? Why doesn't Gaurav...
Why do you see them as homilies?
Well, because the one thing that stops our country from a crackdown on terrorists are politicians who look at it in Hindu-Muslim ways. That's all they look at it as. They look upon terrorism as an opportunity
Those who do,
sir,
ask them that question.
Nalin Kohli.
Those who stereotype entire communities and nurture the form of extremism on every side.
Sir, please be realistic. Shahid Siddiqui is coming in.
Because you were referring to
Shahid Siddiqui,
the politicians may have done, the people of India have always been united at any terrorist attack. Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, we have all come together at every incident in the last 20 years. And Indian people have never allowed these people to divide us. So we have been able to fight terrorism in last 20 years because the people of this country...
So what makes you feel we have been able to successfully fight terrorism? What makes you feel? Even after what has happened in Sydney, you're going to say that? Sir, no, what makes you feel?
What makes you feel is that India has been the main target. India has been the main target of terrorism, global terrorism, the neighborhood terrorism, the internal terrorism, and we have successfully fought it. We have not allowed it to jeopardize.
I don't know why you are giving yourself any credit.
Economy, and our people and our society.
I don't know why you are giving yourself any credit. You shouldn't be giving any. You know, all kinds of wrong information is planted.
All the credit to the people of this country. Arnab, in spite of we media trying to divide, and politicians trying to divide, it is the people of this country who have kept the country and the society united.
Sir, this is, it's very good rhetoric. First of all, let's take specific examples out here. Let me take everybody in. All that the political parties do is that you have compromised our country in the fight against terrorism. It is clear and apparent to everyone. And after Sydney also today, you are continuing to do it. I'd like to get Nalin Kohli into the debate. Nalin Kohli, there was a time when political parties in India were racing with each other to say the Indian Mujahideen does not exist. This was also a fact. I want to know how many of you who are on air today can say that was not done in our country. Yes, Nalin Kohli.
No, it was done. It was done. Or, even referring to Osama bin Laden as Osama ji. Let's stop for a minute. We are a country where removal of the only anti-terrorism law that we ever had, which was POTA, Prevention of Terrorism Activities, was removed as an election issue. Now let's stop for a minute. Hindu, Muslim, Christian, anyone, they are human beings and Indians. So their security is supreme. Now, yes, have laws been misused? So as even a murder has been misused in terms of the IPC. So will you throw out the IPC? The question is that if it is incorrectly used, and I'm saying it bluntly on the screen, if a normal Muslim boy was incorrectly incarcerated, you have to find the solution that it never happens again. But are you going to throw the law out just because of a political tool? So what has happened in the past is there in front of everyone. But can we risk the future? Because it's not the 100 incidents that the terrorists will try. We have to worry about that single one incident that the terrorists may succeed and cause havoc to ordinary Indians. That's what it matters. And there can't be a compromise anymore. You can't call infiltration of immigrants just because it's a vote bank. You have to recognize that they are aliens to the Indian soil, find solutions, but you can't just look at it as a Hindu-Muslim this. So if you are looking at, for example, tensions in communities, even terrorist incidents that succeed are not going to bring harmony. There will be great examples of Indians who will come at that point together, stand together, irrespective of every division that there may be.
Why?
But there will also be repercussions.
Why would you? No. 1 sec. Why would political parties not accept tonight, especially parties like the Samajwadi Party or the Congress, that they have been hypocritical in their approach and contributed probably to the growth of the terror industry in our own soil?
This is not fair that you don't come to me, but you take my party's name 3 times and you condemn the party.
Well, I've only
opportunity. You were saying the Samajwadi Party. The Samajwadi Party is. I don't think this is not correct on your part. When you are taking my party's name, the first thing you should do is you should turn to me and wait for my response.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia. If you are 1 minute, first of all, let me get a couple of things straight. Gaurav Bhatia, if you are under any misapprehension, if you are under many misapprehension that you will dictate the editorial agenda of the Newshour for any reason, you will not. No, first of all, you can't dictate my editorial agenda. Don't try to. Don't try to. Secondly, don't try to censor me. Thirdly, I will come to you, but don't get into an outrage. The Samajwadi Party can certainly be questioned for its absolute hypocrisy in this matter.
Don't try to do politics over terrorism.
Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, that's a fine one coming from a party that specializes. You specialize in politics over terrorism. You specialize in politics over terrorism, Mr. Bhatia. You specialize in it.
Samajwadi Party and
you specialize in it. Do you want me to give you examples?
Politics over terrorism only if you allow me to speak.
Mr. Bhatia, do you specialize? Do you or do you not specialize in using terrorism to galvanize vote banks? Issues regarding terrorism to galvanize vote banks. Do you or do you not do that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well, of course you do. You want examples of it? You want examples of it? Did you or did you not repeat it? No, 1 second. Hear me, Mr. Bhatia. Hear me, Mr. Bhatia. You don't listen to others. Mr. Bhatia, let me give you one example. No, one simple example. Please hear me, Mr. Bhatia.
Don't trivialize.
Mr. Bhatia, neither do I trivialize, but you need to listen for a while. Did you or did you not repeatedly defend the banned organization, Students Islamic Movement of India, calling for a revoking of the ban on Simi? Did you or did you not do that? Did you or did you not ask for the revocation of the ban on Simi? Did you or did you not do that?
There were reasons.
There were reasons. Did you use the Batla House encounter for political purposes?
I'm telling you the stand of
Did you use the Batla House encounter for political purposes?
The Samajwadi Party did not politicize the Batla House. We only said what was surfacing
Mr. Bhatia,
that it might be a false encounter. And the media was showing that.
You don't forget hold a mirror to what you've done, Mr. Bhatia. You really realize where you've gone wrong.
We had no first-hand information.
Mr. Bhatia, you even tried to withdraw
now let me make my point.
No, Mr. Bhatia, please, I can't give you all the time on the world on the program. You've really made your point. I'm now going across to Ajay Kumar. Ajay Kumar, no, 1 second.
When did you give me time, Arnav?
Mr. Bhatia, you do not have a right to take all the time on the program. Why are you?
Don't invite me on the show.
Mr. Bhatia, first of all, I'll make a couple of things. No, I'll make a couple of things very clear. If your condition is...
Civilizing the debate, I am quiet now.
Mr. Bhatia, you are free...
This is absolutely ridiculous, Arnav. This is ridiculous that you don't allow me to speak. Mr. Bhatia, I'm quiet now. You can have your discussion. Thank you.
No, first of all, let me make one thing clear. Mr. Bhatia, I don't think you're behaving appropriately. If you're under any misapprehension that others should not be allowed to even take part in the program, I'm not going to let you walk away with it. There are other panelists. You have to be democratic as well. And when others are speaking, Mr. Bhatia, you must listen. Mr. Bhatia, when others are speaking, you must listen.
This is a far more serious discussion than the way you are discussing.
I don't need a certificate from you, Gaurav Bhatia, on what is a serious and a non-serious way of handling a discussion. Let me please. Yes, please. Please hear the other side as well.
Discuss the issue with others.
Mr. Bhatia, I have been in this profession for much longer than you have been in politics. Don't try and teach me the basics of journalism. I'd now like to move on. I will not listen to it from you.
Doesn't make any difference.
GD Bakshi.
If what I'm saying is right, it will stay right.
Fine, Mr. Bhatia. Hear the others, please also. Let's get other points of view into the debate. Ajay Kumar, Nalin Kohli, it's an open debate. Feel free to come in. But before that, GD Bakshi joins in. Ajay Kumar.
Yeah, I just wanted a point. I just
okay, Nalin Kohli.
Only, and that's, non-partisan. You remember in Patna, when the bomb blasts were taking place and Modi ji was addressing, I didn't see that kind of thing that you would have said. Here is a person, you may disagree with him politically, you may oppose him politically, but if a prime ministerial candidate's rally is seeing bombs blast, you can't in any way not take it seriously. So what I'm trying to say is it not a wake-up time now? Whatever be our political differences, for India's sake, let us strengthen ourselves. We'll fight out our political differences, there's just no harm in that. But we need to be clear about what we need to do to protect India.
Nalinji, what you are saying, I wanted to say the same thing, that all political parties will come together to fight terrorism, and we stand united on that front.
Sir, the Congress
as being painted by Arnab right.
Sir, you know what? It hurts. No, Ajay, I'm coming to you, but it hurts when I put a mirror to the positions taken by every political party. Would you not juxtapose the pictures of what is happening in Sydney today? What's happening in Sydney today? We are hearing reports of 2 hostages being killed, though the Indian has been safely evacuated. Would we not ask the hypocritical positions that our parties take? Again, Mr. Bhatia, you're not letting others come in. Have we not ridiculed?
For your information,
can we get a moment to speak?
Can Ajay Kumar say something, Gaurav Bhatia, or is he also censored? No, let me ask Gaurav Bhatia. Gaurav Bhatia, is anybody else besides you allowed to take part in the program?
Hello.
Because Ajay Kumar has not even spoken yet.
Arnab, you can give my time to other panelists.
No, I don't want to give your time. You are under the impression that Samajwadi Party owns all the time on the program. Yes, please.
Arnab, can I get
Pawan, yes, please, Ajay Kumar.
I don't. But I think if you invite me, you should give me some time to speak.
I think the viewer is judging. Yes, please, Ajay Kumar.
Yeah, Arnab, first of all, if you can give me uninterrupted only 2 minutes. I totally agree with you that all political parties should come on a single platform. Like you said, instances when somebody said that Mujahideen is a figment of imagination is wrong. But the issue is when Bharatiya Janata Party takes the quota as an example, that's also unfortunate because it's not a Muslim-Hindu issue at all. The number of children, number of people from Jharkhand who were arrested under quota was more than Jammu and Kashmir. The issue is the question. We need political parties to form a stringent rule. But it doesn't mean that when you make a rule, that all and sundry get arrested and then you say, no, it is a Hindu-Muslim issue at all. In fact, if you look at the data of quota, Mr. Advani himself said that it was a mistake if you look at the way it was implemented. So that is the problem. Nobody is saying there should be a stringent
if I were to agree with you, Ajay,
let me complete.
Ajay, if I were to agree with you, I have one counter question. If I were to agree with you, can you please tell me why in any country, politician after politician line up and compete with each other to say that the Indian Mujahideen does not exist? A. B. Indian Mujahideen is a figment of our imagination. C. A union minister says, 1 minute, if you're saying we don't look at a Hindu-Muslim angle, why does a union minister say that Muslims in India don't believe the Indian Mujahideen exists? Tell me why does this happen in our country?
So I agree with you. So one thing is, very often when we speak out of context, or and on the.
It's not out of context. Politicians are not innocent.
No.
Politicians are not innocent, Ajay. Politicians do it knowingly.
I'm not going to debate on this channel on the necessity of a strong terrorist law.
No, I'm not talking about a law. I'm talking about a change of attitude, Ajay. And by the way, the link is bad with you. So I'm going to have to improve the link and come back to you. GD Bakshi, please. GD Bakshi. Okay, Pawan Verma, the debate is very much open, but I'd like to go to GD Bakshi first. GD Bakshi, has the fight against terrorism been held hostage to vote bank politics or not?
Arnab, it is extremely unfortunate that in our country, the entire counter-terrorism struggle has gotten located in this Hindu-Muslim divide kind of a polarized atmosphere simply because of our politicians who have tried to create a sense of victimhood and then exploit it absolutely shamelessly to their own very personal ends of vote bank politics, of trying to stay in power by any means, by exploiting a sense of victimhood, creating it in the first place. I'm afraid the law goes where the evidence goes. The law does not recognize whether you are Hindu, you are Muslim, you are Sikh, you are Christian or anyone. If the evidence points towards you and I'm the law officer there, I'm supposed to arrest even my own
But
father.
Mr. Bakshi,
So where is this question of why a particular...
well, Mr. Bakshi, because tonight, I'll tell you why. Because tonight, Pawan Verma, Ajay Kumar, and Gaurav Bhatia refused to accept that the fight against terrorism in India has been given a religious trapping. None of them accept it. It's as simple as that. I wish they were more honest tonight to themselves. I wish even Shahid Siddiqui had been more honest on this subject.
Why do you leave out the BJP, Arnab, if I may ask you?
Arnab, no, I am absolutely honest, and let me tell you that I believe that on both sides, terrorism has been used as a political instrument.
No, but why did you not
fighting terrorism? We have used it for, sometimes we use victimization, this idea of victimization of minorities or of a majority for political gains. Terrorism is terrorism. It has to be fought professionally.
No, who has used it? No, let me ask you. Let me ask you.
Part of even our intelligence agencies.
Sir, let me ask you. Sir, let me. You've been in the Samajwadi Party. Have you?
Instead of denouncing each other, we have to come together.
Sir, I don't want lectures.
And let me tell you,
I don't want lectures. Sir, I don't want lectures.
Indian Mujahideen was.
So these are lectures.
Can I also make my point?
Gaurav Bhatia, these are but lectures. These are but lectures.
As well.
Gaurav Bhatia, these are, Shahid Siddiqui, these are but lectures. Yes, General Bakshi,
what can one do on a channel?
It's an open debate.
One cannot pick up a gun on a channel. One can only give a lecture on a channel.
Well, surely you can, but then you can accept. But you can accept, and Gaurav Bhatia, just a minute, you can accept. Why don't
what do you expect?
Why
discussion and debate.
Why don't you accept that yes, we do religion-based politics around issues of terrorism? Simple.
You also talk.
No, why don't you accept that, Shahid Siddiqui, that when you were in the Samajwadi Party, you were also among those who took a position on the Batla House encounter?
Goswami, let me tell you, in 1991, I spoke against the Kashmiri terrorism, and 5 organizations put their price on my head. And I never got down to them. I just didn't talk.
Examples.
I fought them.
Okay,
I fought the Kashmiri terrorists. So, my paper was banned in Kashmir in 1991. There is a record because Y plus security was given to me, and I never bothered about security myself.
GD Bakshi.
So
I'm going to.
We have done nothing. We have been fighting this terrorism, and we'll fight this terrorism.
Since I am the only soldier on this panel, I think I have a right to be heard.
No, we are all soldiers, Bakshi Sahab, against terrorism, we are all soldiers. We all Indians are soldiers against terrorism. Terrorism is not fought on the frontiers. Terrorism is fought in every gully, every mohalla, every village.
मेरी भी सुन लीजिए
आप ये ज्यादा फौजी वाली बात मत कीजिए हम सब फौजी हैं we all want to fight
क्यों ना करो
don't be holier than everyone else
10,000 फौजी हमारे मरे क्यों ना करूं मैं उन शहीदों की
अरे हिंदुस्तानी मर रहे हैं बहुत कश्मीर में भी मर रहे हैं बाकी जगह मर रहे हैं
हाँ तो फिर वो सिपाही हैं
so let's come together the फौजी and the common people let's come together and fight
Arnab, can I please talk?
Go ahead, I'm not stopping you.
Arnab, yes, I was saying that the armed forces, the security forces have systematically been demonized and demoralized in this country, especially in the previous dispensation. There were comments made to the effect that every encounter should be treated as a fake encounter unless proved otherwise. We have heard this on channels. Don't deny this. There has been a systematic program, to use human rights as a tool to demoralize and systematically demonize the armed forces, the security forces, the police, to tie them hands and foot. Do I have to remind you of the Batala encounter? Do I have to remind you of what was said? That this is a false encounter and every encounter should be treated as a false encounter.
And we are
this is the extent to which we have gone.
No, we are the only country. We are also the only country in the world. Pawan Verma, Gaurav Bhatia, please realize we are the only country in the world where lots of politicians actually make out a case for terror groups. We are the only country in the world in which a minister speaks about the non-existence of a terror group. We are the only country in the world when there is a terror attack outside, when there's a blast outside one party office, some other political party says this is a blast which has been carried out by the political party and refuse to accept the possibility of a terror threat. We are the only country in the world, Pawan Verma, which does all this. We are the only country in the world which openly politicizes the issue of terrorism. Name one other, Pawan Verma. Name one other country in the world, Pawan Verma, Gaurav Bhatia, I ask you tonight, name one other country in the world which such a threat of terrorism which openly politicizes it. And why am I discussing this tonight, Pawan Verma? Not to just score a point, but maybe I thought the Sydney cafe attack would make you wake up and not put out the same old arguments again and again. Maybe it should be a moment of reflection.
No, what are you saying? What arguments have I put out? You invent arguments that your panelists have not made.
Which argument is invented? No, which argument is invented, Pawan Verma?
You reduced it to hysteria.
Which argument is invented? Pawan Verma, which argument is invented?
If you want to listen sanely, allow your panelists to speak.
But Pawan Verma, tell me which argument is invented?
Very simply put, nobody contests the fact that terrorism needs to be fought strongly in this country. Nobody contests the fact that terrorism should not get a religious hue to it. Nobody contests the fact that we are ill-prepared for it. I also want to add the point, since you are talking so much of politics, this atmosphere that we have seen in the past few weeks, creating non-existent boundaries of religious hatred in our country, do you think it's conducive to fighting terrorism in our country? People are being set against each other, one inflammatory statement every day. Religious polarization is being followed as a matter of policy. An already vulnerable country is being made into a timber box, a nurturing ground for terrorists of extreme wings on both sides of the spectrum. Why don't you ask this question?
I will, but since you have made, I will, but Pawan Verma, one second. Pawan Verma, let me take you head on and ask you a counter question. Well, let me ask you a counter question. You say today, this is hysteria. I'm asking you tonight, let me ask you a counter question. When I ask the straight questions, 1 minute, Pawan Verma, you don't like it. You want me to give you examples? I will give you many examples.
I have not liked or disliked
Mr. Pawan Verma, when there was...
I don't want to get into a...
No, Mr. Pawan Verma, accept the reality.
Match with you.
Mr. Pawan Verma, I am not interested in a slanging match with you either. But I will certainly ask you. But
I am not getting into a slanging match with you,
Mr. Verma, have you or have you not?
Please ask me a straightforward question.
I am asking you a straightforward question, as straightforward as can be.
Yes.
And while I certainly have questions for the other side, I expect you to be honest and sincere in your response to my question. Did you or did you not politicize? Did you not politicize the arrest of Muslim youth by the Karnataka police in relation to the 2010 serial blast in Bangalore? Yes or no?
In what way did we politicize it?
You want me to give you examples? Your member of parliament demanded action against the Home Ministry. Now you ask me a counter question, let me answer you. The Janata Dal raised the issue in parliament. Member of parliament, you can ask him, Shivanand Tiwari, said, I want action against the home ministries. I want action against the agencies responsible. Which side were you? Why were you making that point? Does this strengthen the fight against terrorism in India? Second example, Pawan Verma.
We should never question. Just now expect an answer also. Or should I continue to hear you only?
No, Mr. Verma.
So we should never question any act taken by the
Did I say that? Did I say that, or did I give you a specific example? Did I say that, or did I give you a specific example?
We should not question. We should not question the Sohrabuddin encounter.
Okay, counters coming in from Nalin Kohli or GD Bakshi, please. I think GD Bakshi. No, I'm giving you examples. Okay, Nalin Kohli is asking a counter.
Endorsing acts of the state.
No, 1 second. Nalin Kohli's counter to Pawan Verma, please. Nalin Kohli.
Pawan, absolutely. I'll come straight to it. I can challenge it on this program, Mr. Goswami, that it will not be the Janata Dal United, it will not be the Samajwadi Party or others who will stand up in Parliament and say, government, let us work together and come out with a strong anti-terror law. Let us work together to see that it's not misused. Let us not politicize it. But they will find isolated cases, despite an Ishrat Jahan being celebrated by the LET website. That won't be ever mentioned about, despite a whole series of 10 years of illegal terrorism, if I may use, by motivated people. Despite those who fought this, sir, let me finish it, sir. Let me just finish it. Despite the fact that those who are raising questions today are finding themselves answerable for all the rights, despite all the stuff that was said in the hang on, Mr. Verma,
what your
Mr. Verma,
saying.
You can obfuscate the fight. No, leave my ministers out. Leave my ministers out. Leave the ministers out. We'll do a debate on it. But would you ever, would you like to see India compromise in the fight for terror just because you know you have no answers for your party? Would you like to take this fight to such an extent, Mr. Verma, that you are willing? I am sorry, I take offense. By that language, you are perpetrating it, Mr. Verma. I am sorry to say that. What do you mean by provoking? By not letting the Bihar police interrogate the IM founders? You feel that this is how it is going to be fought? What is this, Mr. Verma? The point is, can we join together and can we fight terrorism? Or are we going to score points?
Pawan Verma, you are making a series of unfortunate observations in the course of a program. Of course, you are a senior politician. You have been in public life, and you have a right to make. No, I just clarify, and then Gaurav Bhatia, I'm giving you the floor. No, 1 second. But I find today, Pawan Verma, that you know, 1 second. You say this is wrong, you say this is hysteria. I think I ask a very relevant question which is in the minds of everyone. Has the fight against terrorism in India been held hostage to vote bank politics? Has the fight against terrorism in India been stuck in a religious trapping? Has every political party, many political parties, including the BJP and all others, used terrorism to push their own agenda for creating and dividing vote banks? And does this make us more vulnerable or less vulnerable? Does the person watching the Newshour become more or less vulnerable than this? That's my only question tonight. I am not achieving any narrow or shallow purpose, Pawan Verma. I am placing it on record. Gaurav Bhatia wants to respond to Nalin Kohli. Gaurav Bhatia, please, Gaurav Bhatia. Yes, floor is yours. Gaurav Bhatia to Nalin Kohli.
I don't disagree with you, Arnab.
Arnab, we might have we might have different. It says, no, my point is this, your screen even right now says BJP politicizing, when I never said BJP is politicizing. Because I want to make this point that all political parties are together when it comes to terrorism.
And I completely reject. No. 1 second. One second. I might say so, Gaurav Bhatia. I completely reject that claim. I'd say today, if you lack the courage, I'll say. No, 1 minute.
Why political party?
Nalin Kohli, 1 minute. If Gaurav Bhatia.
Why is your screen saying?
If Gaurav Bhatia, fine, Gaurav Bhatia, you don't want to be critical of the BJP. God knows which political side you're on.
Why is your?
That's not the question. I'd say tonight, I'm not afraid.
No, I'm saying something else.
I'm saying tonight the BJP has politicized it.
BJP.
Has the BJP not politicized it?
A larger point that all the political parties
Mr. Bhatia,
to fight terrorism.
Mr. Bhatia.
And the Samajwadi Party is ready to do it.
Hear me for a minute. I want to ask the BJP. First, you don't want to take on the BJP, best of luck to you. I'll take on all of you. I'll take on all political parties tonight, and I know even Shahid Siddiqui will not stand by me. But I don't care. I'll tell you this.
You want it to be reduced to a trivial debate where we start targeting each other.
Gaurav, no.
And I'm saying we don't want that.
Gaurav, no.
We want all political parties to come together.
Gaurav, no. All I'm saying, I'm showing the mirror. And I'm asking the BJP. I'm asking the BJP a very relevant question. Did the BJP take on the Shiv Sena when it promised legal aid to the suspects of the Malegaon blast? Did they do that?
No.
Why didn't you?
Not at all.
Okay. So that's fine. No. How did the BJP react? Let me ask you a counter question. One more.
At the same time,
One more. How did the BJP react when the Ajmer blast accused Bhavesh Patel's claimed meeting Home Minister Sushil Kumar Shinde, Minister of State for Home RPN Singh, etc., who wanted him to name the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat and another top functionary Indresh Kumar?
This one I'm not aware of.
You're not aware. Of course you're not. I'll tell you. Did you cry conspiracy when Sangh affiliates are accused of terror?
I'm not.
What was your position in the case of Kamal Chauhan? What was your position in the case of Swami Asivanand? Why did you politicize it?
I'm answering it myself.
You can target each party one by one.
On
but I think
why should I not?
When Sadri Pragya's case came up, and it was very specific. It was on the question of not whether law will find it or not. But Mr. Rajnath Singh had specifically said it's about denial of treatment to someone who was suffering from cancer. And that was absolutely unequivocally on this record. We've never said you don't try anybody. We've said let law take its course. If there are loopholes in the law, we can fight to get rid of the loopholes. But are we going to throw the law outside just because we want to build on insecurities? Number two, let's not forget, we lost an Indian Prime Minister to terrorism, Rajiv Gandhi. It's not about the BJP or the Congress. We lost Indira Gandhi to an assassin's bullets. So therefore, my point is, if there are inadequacies in the law,
have we learned from it? Have we learned from it?
And Arnab,
no, I'm not so sure.
Have we learned from it? Shahid Siddiqui, have we learned from it?
Mr. Goswami, I'm not so sure.
I'll give you an example.
And I hope that we do learn from it.
No, what's Gaurav Bhatia, before I come to you, my question
or a Hindu will like to sleep more safe, not looking at anything else.
Before the world had heard of terrorism, we were facing terrorism from 80s onwards. For the last 30 years, we have been facing terrorism in this country. and in spite of that, not only our politicians, our media, our intellectuals, but more than anyone else, more than our soldiers, our common man.
Sir, you are again,
to this terrorism,
don't push everything to the common man.
Is it
the common man who says Indian Mujahideen does not exist?
We must appreciate that.
Is it the common man who says Indian Mujahideen does not exist? Gives you a cover. No, what's it?
Be positive.
Shahid Siddiqui, my question is, does the common man say Indian Mujahideen does not exist?
But people are not exploited. They try to divide, but people are not divided.
Who have tried to divide? Accept it that all political parties have. At least let me have an honest confession.
Politicians tried to divide, but people were not divided. Parties tried to exploit, but people were not exploited on these issues. I have seen in Varanasi, when the bomb blast took place, in Mandars, Hindus and Muslims came together to pick up and to help those.
I'm really sorry, Shahid Siddiqui. Shahid Siddiqui, I'm very sorry if you want to avoid the issue.
Arnab, can I just...
No, if you want to avoid the issue altogether, it's fine.
You are avoiding the issue.
I'm not avoiding the issue.
One important point. There was an anti-terrorist...
let's not create a hysteria on this. We have succeeded where the world has failed.
Please do not. No, first of all, Shahid Siddiqui, don't compliment yourself. Don't compliment yourself. There was a time and there is still a time when political parties were racing with each other to say the Indian Mujahideen does not exist. Today I say, will you say the Indian Mujahideen does not exist despite it killing 26 people, injuring 130 others in the 2011 Mumbai blast?
Of course they exist.
9 blasts in Jaipur on May 13, 2008.
They exist. But at the same time, don't use Indian Mujahideen
No, I am not. I am showing you the mirror. I am saying today, name any other country in the world where politicians say terror groups which exist don't exist. It's only India. GD Bakshi.
GD Bakshi to the citizens. It's not only the politicians. It's an insult to the citizens. I mean, look at it, honestly, just for a second. Look at it, whether from a Muslim's perspective or a Hindu's Muslim perspective, to be identified with a terrorist group. I mean, so therefore, as far as the citizens do not want to look at this. I'm not making any fleeting remarks, Mr. Siddiqui. I'm only pointing out a point that I feel that I should. Why do you call it a fleeting remark?
I'm talking to Mr. Arnab Goswami.
I'm making one second, Shahid Siddiqui, I have absolutely no qualms if all of you get together and take me on.
The nation knows that.
I am ready to speak the truth. I am telling you, it's only in India that there is this level of politics on terrorism. I'll keep saying it. I'll keep saying it.
Never been black and white.
You may not accept it. I put that question to all our viewers
Arnab,
today.
can I just come in and make a point, please?
Gaurav, after GD Bakshi. After GD Bakshi, Gaurav. GD Bakshi.
You know, Arnab, Arnab, Mr. Pawan Verma made a very pertinent point that do you think that the armed forces, the security forces should never be questioned? I totally grant that. All that I am trying to say is, Mr. Verma, the situation for the armed forces, the security forces is comments like every encounter should be treated as fake till proved otherwise. Please see the difference between these two mindsets. The second one is disastrous for any counter-terrorist campaign in any country of the world. And I'm sure a person of your experience and eminence will accept that such kind of statements when they emanate from political quarters absolutely demoralize your troops, your policemen, your security personnel whose life is on the line. Retail disbelief, wholesale accusations. And these are only, we have had cases in Jammu and Kashmir where we were accused of human rights violation. 1,780 of these were compiled and given to the Human Rights Commission in India. And you will be surprised to learn that 97.4% were found to be false. Against the 2-point-some% that were actually found true, we went and court-martialed over 100 officers, JCOs and men.
I don't understand, Mr.
are quite sensitive.
I don't quite.
But this kind of a retail disbelief, that is what we are objecting
Pawan Verma should respond. No. Pawan Verma will respond. Pawan Verma can respond, and therefore the argument being made that from Batla House in Delhi to terror attacks in Karnataka to terror attacks in Kashmir, there has always been a political constituency that is willing to sacrifice the interests of the citizen and also the commitment of the forces and take indirectly or directly support those who actually create, build and benefit from the terror infrastructure. Pawan Verma, do respond to that point of General Bakshi. Yes, please.
General Bakshi, let me say I have great respect for you as a soldier and a statesman. I want to give you an answer which I believe is from my count consonant with democracy and the kind of country we are. First of all, I agree with you that it's wrong as a reflex to question any action taken by our security forces. Secondly, and equally I believe that all civilized societies should have the possibility of questioning those encounters which appear to be on the excess of law. To ask that question is not meant to demoralize the security forces, but these are the inherent checks and balances of a democracy. If we choose to be another kind of polity, I would say we would give a blank check to our security forces in any circumstance.
No,
and I believe they need to get the full support. However, we have a judiciary. Everyone has a right. Suppose a person is picked up and accused to be a terrorist. Do we shoot him dead or do we
Certainly not. You are going to the other extreme. Who's saying that?
These are the checks and balances of a civilized society.
Who is even making that point?
Ultimately, it is that civilized society which will be the biggest bulwark against terrorism.
One second. Gaurav Bhatia and Ajay Kumar. Ajay, I think we've got the line back with you, so I am going to come to you. My point is, no, one second. GD Bakshi, let's...
One sec.
GD Bakshi, one second.
Again and again and again.
One second. No.
Everybody, by the media, by the...
Can I make my point?
Shahid Siddiqui, how can you be so blindfolded? Let me give you,
CIA,
you want the viewers to...
Do not give the freedom to CIA to do what they want to do.
Let me.
But
Okay,
at
so
the
Mr.
same
Shahid
time,
Siddiqui.
it has to be.
Mr. Siddiqui,
you know,
first of all,
be questioned. That is the fundamental of a democracy.
That is
No,
the
it's-
point that I just made.
one second, please. Ajay Kumar.
Who has asked for that freedom?
No, nobody has. The Supreme Court, for example, let's share a few facts with Shahid Siddiqui today, since he's going on and on at that point. He was in the Samajwadi Party. The Supreme Court dismissed a plea for a judicial inquiry into the Batla House encounter. In October 2009, they did that. That did not stop the Samajwadi Party, of which Mr. Shahid Siddiqui was a member, of which Mr. Gaurav Bhatia is a spokesperson, from milking the issue.
Not at that point
From
of
milking
time.
the issue.
Not
No,
at
whatever.
that point
From
of time.
milking the
And
issue.
I have never supported.
From
I have
milking
never
the issue.
supported
Let me
Batla
complete.
House
Let me
inquiry.
complete.
I have
Let me
always said it
complete.
should be inquired into and
Let
action
me
should be
complete.
taken.
Do-
No.
Let me complete. The Samajwadi
No,
Party
you are
milked
making
the
false
issue in the
allegations.
run-up to the UP elections
Why
and the
should
Lok
you be
Sabha
allowed to
elections.
complete?
What did
Because
that
you
prove?
own the channel, you can say anything.
What did that prove? That proved only one thing. That when it comes
I mean, you're
to
making
you,
false allegations.
I'm not making a single false allegation. I'm talking about the Samajwadi Party milking the Batla House
Yes.
encounter. Am I wrong?
Absolutely.
Am I wrong?
was not in Samajwadi Party.
Am I wrong?
The time I was in BSP.
Am I
when
wrong?
this
So you've
happened.
shifted
And I
parties.
never
That's not my
supported it.
problem. Am I wrong in the point?
It was Digvijay Singh. It
Did
was
the-
Digvijay Singh. It was Rahul
Okay,
Gandhi.
so we'll
It was
did
those who were in power at
did
that
the
time
Samajwadi
who were
Party.
talking this.
So here's the question
who
to
are
you.
making these
Here's the
false
question tonight. All
statements.
political parties, everyone on the panel says I'm wrong, and I continue to say this, that political parties have used terrorism for political reasons. Can Gaurav Bhatia deny that his party showed utter disregard to the Supreme Court by milking the Batla House encounter in the run-up to the UP elections and the Lok Sabha elections? Can Gaurav Bhatia deny that? Can he deny that? Why are you quiet now, Mr. Bhatia? Mr. Bhatia, can't you hear me now?
Arnab, I was quiet because I wanted you to be quiet, and let me just say this, I will leave your debate today with a very heavy heart. Not because
That's
I
all
don't
right.
have the answers, but because you did not permit me
I
to
have
give
asked
those.
you a question and I expect an answer.
And what I want to say tonight, I don't want to trivialize your debate.
No, I have asked you a question and I expect a clear answer. Sir, did you politicize the Batla House encounter or not, despite the Supreme Court dismissing a plea for a judicial inquiry into it? Did you or did you not continue to politicize it in the UP elections and the general elections? It's not a shallow question, it's a pertinent question, and I do expect a reply from you. Please tell me.
I wasn't on this question, and I will answer if you only allow me to speak uninterrupted. First of all, the Samajwadi Party never politicized the issue. In fact, it raised the issue because the media was also showing the same.
Please.
And just because the Honorable Supreme Court rejects a plea for a judicial inquiry does not mean that the reports that were coming out in the media at that time should not have been raised by a political party.
Fine.
It was not because a particular religion was involved, but it was raised because
I'll tell you, politics was involved.
And it would be done again.
No, I'll tell you, politics was involved.
The religion of the person.
No, politics was
involved. Now, don't
politics
speak over
was
me,
involved.
Arnab.
Politics was
Don't
Politics
speak
was
over
involved.
me.
Sir, politics was involved.
Request you.
Sir, I am not. I am being direct. Politics was involved.
Don't be uncivilized, Arnab.
Sir, please don't teach me what is being civilized and uncivilized. Answer my question. Politics was involved, was it not? Mr. Bhatia, was politics involved?
No, please. Politics was not involved.
Really?
For every citizen's fundamental right, if there is a media report that shows that there is a fake encounter,
in 2009,
party is free
in 2009, the Supreme. Okay,
and
so
please don't try to portray the Samajwadi Party in poor light.
You see, Mr.
for doing
Bhatia,
that
I am
when the media itself was showing reports.
Mr. Bhatia,
You can probably go back and see what the media was showing at that time.
Mr. Bhatia, you know, I'll tell you, I am not in the business of trying to show politicians in a good or a bad light. You can try that.
Arnab, I just want to make one point before I leave.
No, Mr. Bhatia, you must listen. It can't be one-way traffic.
That's an important point.
No, it can't be one-way traffic. You're not listening to a question. The question is very simple.
No, it's not.
No, the question is simple. Mr. Bhatia, can you please listen? Can you listen to a question? Can you, for a change, listen to a question? Why don't you listen to a question? Why don't you listen to a question? You protest every question, you won't answer any.
Okay, I register my protest.
Okay, so
Incivility,
listen to
now
the
you
other
can
side,
speak.
please. The point is very simple. In the history of contemporary India, the Batla House encounter, which was carried out by the Indian Mujahideen, is going to go into history as one of those cases where the hypocrisy of political parties was shown, where they carried out a campaign raising questions over the encounter and kept the issue alive for vote bank politics. That's my position. You can disagree with it. Nalin Kohli has a counter question. Nalin Kohli.
But
The Samajwadi Party did not do it.
Oh, you did it. 100% you did it.
Now,
Nalin
if
Kohli.
you, can I respond to that, please?
Nalin Kohli,
At least have
100% you
the
did.
decency to allow me
100%
time
you
to
did.
respond to this.
No, one sec. Please have the decency to listen to others.
Let
Nalin
me put it
Kohli.
like this.
Arnab,
Can I
One
respond
point.
to that?
Just one
Nalin
point.
Kohli,
Before
please
you
let
go
him
to
speak
Mr.
before you
Nalin
respond.
Kohli,
It takes a
I
lot.
would like to
Just a
respond to that.
moment. Just a
And
moment.
let's not-
Nalin Kohli.
Let's not have this debate
Then do.
in
Let
such
me
a
just make a
haphazard
point.
manner
It
where you
ta-
make
it
your
takes
comment
a
and then you
lot.
go to the other
Mr.
It
panelists.
takes
I do not
courage of the
appreciate that.
highest level. It takes commitment of a unique quality to be able to take a bullet for your country. Whether it's a soldier, whether it's a police officer, whether it's anyone. There are good human beings, bad human beings. There may be isolated cases of police officers going wrong, of army men going wrong, but it takes a lot to take a bullet and die to protect someone you don't even know, which may be you, me, or somebody else. And therefore, when we trivialize it or when we start politicizing it, we kill the will to fight terror. You can't kill the will, because this has to be fought at every level. There is a society, there is law, there's those who go out there to fight it physically. It's not easy. So we can't break that will.
Arnab,
I'd like Ajay Kumar to respond. Ajay Kumar.
Arnab, you know, the whole discussion is that there will be, like what Pawan said, there will be incidences which have to be brought up. It doesn't mean that you're not with the security forces or the police or you're anti-national. That is a part of the political system, like an encounter in the Naxal areas. Who's going to speak if it was right or wrong?
Really? So,
And that
Union
is the
Minister
process.
in your government says the Indian Mujahideen does not exist because Muslims don't think it exists?
No, first question is that.
No, first question, do you answer that?
Arnab, now,
Answer that before
I
you
just
ask a
want to
counter
make
question.
one quick point.
No, first,
Arnab,
Ajay Kumar must
I
answer that. Ajay
remember-
Kumar, no, question is to Ajay Kumar. Ajay Kumar,
Arnab, I remember
No,
a
Ajay
few
Kumar.
months back.
Ajay Kumar, why did your government take a position?
Just a
Your
quick
minister
point, Mr.
said
Goswami. Just a
Muslims
quick
in
point,
India
please.
don't believe the Indian Mujahideen
If an
exists.
officer or an armed force person does wrong, we should punish them strongly. Of course we should. But you don't
Can I
break the
complete
will.
it?
My point
But
is
no,
different
one sec.
that when you brand them all together, the problem comes. Of course, democracy has to have
But
its checks and balances.
Arnab,
But you don't
Mr.
throw the
Nalin
law
Kohli
out
is saying
just
we should
because
punish.
it's politically not
I
favorable.
just want to point out one thing.
Nalan, one sec. First of all, Arnab, the biggest danger is that the BJP wants to
Arnab,
cover
it is
themselves in a mantle.
absolutely
No,
right
one
what
sec.
Mr. Nalin Kohli is saying right now.
Now, can Ajay
Can I
Kumar
complete it?
respond, Gaurav, for a minute, please? Can he get your indulgence for a minute? Can he be allowed to speak?
So, Arnab, first of all, I think there is no political party who can deny the fact that you need a strong terrorist action against terrorist group. Everybody's on the same page. The danger is that the Bharatiya Janata Party wants to cover themselves in a mantle of jingoism and patriotism and paint others. That's absolutely false. So the first issue is that everybody
Did the
agrees
Congress
whether
bring
or-
an anti-terrorism mechanism in the last 10 years? Why don't you tell us?
One sec. So let me complete.
Did the Congress speak in different voices on the issue of terrorism? Did the Congress leaders... Sure, please.
Nalin Kohli, let him complete.
Please.
Let me complete.
Please,
First
please.
of all, on Pota, let me
go
tell you
ahead.
on Pota.
It was the
One sec. Let me
BJP
tell you on
minister who
Pota.
took
Can I
escorted
complete?
Yes,
Pawanji,
Yes,
on Pota, it was Mr. Advani who said that the mistakes were made. First question is that you continuously say Pota. You made Pota with so many loopholes. The problem was that if you make a strong terrorist activity.
I'll answer it.
Yeah, continue. You're on, Ajay Kumar. I can hear you. Line got disconnected. While
Just
Ajay
a
Kumar
quick
was...
answer to that. If there were loopholes
Can I
in Puta, did anybody
can I
bring a
comment?
suggestion to strengthen it or to improve it? They said, let's remove it. Number two, Mr. Verma just in between interjected to say it was a BJP minister who escorted, and he was referring to the Kandahar IC 817 incident. So, Mr. Verma, will you go ahead and say that you unequivocally stand that those 200 odd passengers should have been killed by the Taliban in Kabul? Why didn't you say that and tell us this was the option that you wanted exercised?
Let me answer. Nalin, either you cannot have it both sides of the bread. either you say that irrespective of the possibility of nuances or grey areas, you take a hard stand against terrorism. The POTA law may have inadequacies, may have inbuilt possibilities of falling prey to excess, but we must have a law, and anybody who questions it is questioning our resolve to fight terrorism. So I put this charge to you. If you believe in the strong stand, there are examples of countries who have not given up terrorists to their enemies and were prepared to face the consequences.
I will answer that, Mr. Verma. I will answer
So don't take the moral high ground.
Mr. Verma.
I think all parties need to introspect.
No, I will answer
think all parties need to introspect and don't point an accusing finger to others. I agree with what Arnab is saying, that all political parties could introspect on this, and certainly they could all.
That's all I'm saying.
In strengthening our mechanisms to fight against terror.
That's Mr. Verma. That's all I'm saying. And whatever I received in response, you say I've been hysterical in asking the question. In this country, you take on every single political party, they point the finger back at you. You see, the point is, there has been a problem.
In between you have become hysterical.
No, Mr. Verma, we may need to address issues that are facing us collectively and with seriousness.
Don't get so upset.
Collectively and with seriousness, and that's why I'm saying tonight.
That I agree.
We all need to do that, but Ajay Kumar got interrupted.
Mr. Goswami, just a moment. Mr. Verma, just a quick point. You do have broadly a policy. But there are circumstances, there are situations where, when you are faced with these circumstances, you take what may be seen later on as a bad decision, but you take a decision. You do take a decision looking at the totality.
But
you can't while people can question it, politically I don't want to question your bona fide. Can I come in, please? All I'm saying is don't take so much the moral high ground. And please, Nalin, I request you, rein in the lunatic, rabid communal elements in your party. Otherwise, they will add to the kind of communal tension in our country.
Absolutely. I second that.
Absolutely. Of extremists on
Absolutely, I second that, because one fringe feeds off the other. We all know this, Nalin Kohli. One fringe feeds off the other. And each fringe uses and justifies the actions of another fringe to carry out its own fringe activities. And that is what this country does not need. One second. Ajay Kumar got interrupted 1 minute in the debate. Ajay Kumar is responding. Nalin Kohli was making a point. What's after Ajay?
Can I complete it?
Yes, please.
The question is exactly what Pawan said. The fringe elements in all sides should be contained. All political parties should come on a common platform to have a strong anti-terrorist law. And the Bharatiya Janata Party should stop pretending that they are the actual patriots, because that's absolute false. The kind of laws they brought was full of loopholes, which was misused. Bring in a law which cannot be misused. Bring in a legislation which the poor and the needy will not be prosecuted instead of the terrorists.
These are things. These are,
Arnab, can I come in?
Okay, GD Bakshi.
May I answer that?
Arnab,
Let me answer that. Mr. Ajay Kumar, Mr. Ajay Kumar, that would have sounded convincing if in 10 years we had seen not the law being thrown out, but the law being strengthened. So are you expecting us to believe that the Congress party in 10 years didn't have a single legal luminary who could have strengthened the law, which you claim that the BJP bought, which was full of loopholes and was misused? You claim the law of the Congress should produce the luminary.
Therefore, so I want to respond on
Ajay Kumar.
One sec. Let me complete.
Ajay Kumar.
Unlawful Prevention Act 2004 had much more of the amendments which the POTA had failed. In fact, it made it more stringent. Like, the transcripts of the security agents being put in, which was not there in the POTA. So don't say that the UAP, the Unlawful Prevention Act of 2004 amendment, is not a strong act. You have created this myth across. You have created this myth across this country. You have created this myth in this country.
Why don't we speak on the aspect of evidence? If you want to take it down the legal route, then we need to look at it in totality. Why don't we talk about the aspect of evidence?
Why don't you let me complete?
Of course.
Well, let me complete. The first question is that the POTA is a myth you are creating. The myth of POTA, the 2000 Unlawful Prevention Act of 2004 had stringent provisions. So don't go about, painting political parties as if you guys were the guys.
Sir,
the 2004
I began
amendment
this. No. It's been 60 minutes into this debate, and I'd like to come in. I just want no. What's it? The debate can carry on. I'm a little short of time.
Can I come in, please?
No. What's it, gentlemen? Can I say something? You see, 60 minutes have passed into this debate. We began the debate by all of you pointing fingers back, saying, "What are you talking about?" But Gaurav, you realize 60 minutes into the debate, we all realize how all political parties have politicized terror in India. And tonight, Gaurav, look at those pictures from Sydney, Gaurav Bhatia, let it wake you up. Those pictures from Sydney, those pictures of all these people who are being brought out thankfully alive. And we also pray for the fact, and we thank God, that today the 2 Indians who were held there, both the Indians are safe. We have prayed for them collectively as a nation. They've come out safe.
But a life has also been lost. Beyond the terrorists who were shot dead, one more life has been lost.
Absolutely. But will we not realize how vulnerable we are tonight?
We must have a strong terrorist law.
And I agree with Mr.
All
Pawan
political
Verma
parties.
when he said that all political parties need to introspect. And just a few months back, when we saw ISIS flags on Indian soil, I was the one on behalf of Samajwadi Party. I said we should crack down on these people. But have we done enough is the question. There is no politicization of terrorism.
So
all parties should come together. And I stand with Mr. Pawan Verma to say that we should introspect, that we don't get communal politics into terrorism.
Well, gentlemen, there has been so mumuch radicalization.
And get
there is so much,
and ensure that we don't politicize it.
Why? My only takeaway from this is I'm happy that after debating this non-stop for 60 minutes, after being personally attacked in different ways by many of our panelists, we come to a conclusion. There is a link that people have drawn between terror and religion. Collectively, I say, let's fight that. Let's look at terrorism as terrorism, not through the lens of politics or religion. Thank you, gentlemen, for that inspiring debate on the Newshour tonight.
Thank you.